Hi, how are you? Good. It is the most common way that we open a conversation when we catch up with someone, or when we meet someone for the first time, or if we're out networking. The problem is that we almost ask it and reply to it like we're on autopilot. Very typical response is, yeah, I'm good. And how are you? Or I'm great. How are you? So what about mixing it up a little bit, and instead of asking the common how are you question when you catch up with someone, ask something a little different. So maybe it's just something like, what have you been up to? Or what did you do before now? Or what's something exciting that's happened to you today? Whatever it is, and there's so many different things that you could use instead of how are you. Think about or brainstorm some of the alternatives that you could ask instead of how are you, and just see what happens. It's a really interesting way to get a conversation off to a different start. Sometimes you can get a little bit deeper or a little bit more interesting than just the autopilot, how are you? And if you're stuck for some ideas, here's a really good one. So, have you seen these lollies? They're the Natural Confectionery Company Fruity Chews. Anyway, these are a bag of goodies because on the wrapper, each of these, hang on, let me put this down. On the wrapper, each of these has a couple of really good conversation starters. So this one, the conversation starter could be, what was your nickname at school or at work? The beautiful thing about that is if you are actually in a meeting with a client or out and about with someone and they tell you their nickname, there's usually a story behind that nickname. And guess what? It gives you permission to ask that story. So if you do get stuck, grab yourself a packet of these Natural Confectionery Fruity Chews. Lots of different flavors. I've got the blackcurrant one here. And like I said, on the wrapper, there's a whole lot of different ideas. Otherwise, you could just brainstorm some of the ones that you've got up your sleeve. But if you get stuck, use these. These are also really great to have, say, in a client meeting or in a team meeting. And everybody's got to take one out and go around the room and ask the questions. You'll find out a bucket load of information, plus you get to have a sweet treat at the same time. Whatever you do with that, make it count.